Toga.
El socio patrocinador de KBBF, Jackson Family Wines, está creciendo sus operaciones viníferas en Napa y celebrará una feria de trabajo el sábado 31 de enero en su bodega de Oakville, situada en el 7600 Santa Elena Highway. Este evento es de las 8 de la mañana hasta la 1 de la tarde. Jackson Family Wines necesita trabajadores para operar equipo, manejar tractores, regar, ser jefe de cuadrilla y supervisar el viñedo. Estos trabajos son de tiempo completo e incluyen beneficios. Todos los puestos requieren experiencia de 2 a 3 años de trabajo con la uva. Recuerde, la feria de trabajo de Jackson Family Wines, el 31 de enero, de 8 de la mañana a 1 de la tarde, en el 7600 Santa Elena Highway en Napa.
This Friday night at 6 to 8 p.m., KBBF will be featuring the Queer Life Radio Show, LGBT news, modern perspectives, roundtable discussions, and interviews. And our special guest for this Friday is Fallon Fox, the first transgender MMA fighter. Stay tuned. The Queer Life Radio Show, every Friday night, 6 to 8 p.m.
Hi, this is Adam Rodriguez. Did you know that today 1 out of every 4 American kids is Hispanic? That means many of the future doctors, engineers, scientists, and entrepreneurs of our country can be your kids. We all know how hard it is for you to send them to college. This is why we want you to know you are not alone. Many support you, and the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education. Learn more at hsf.net. Brought to you by the Hispanic Scholarship Fund and the Ad Council.
Desde Santa Rosa, para el norte de California, transmite KBBF 89.1 FM.
All right. Hello, everybody. You are listening to The Queer Life, LGBT news, modern perspectives, roundtable discussions, and interviews. I am your host, Kaya Kramer, and I am joined, as always, with my co-host, Mandy Howard.
Chillin'. Like a villain, right?
On penicillin.
All right.
I feel like we've gotten quite a bit more sober since the beginning of this show starting.
We're getting better, definitely, but we got a ways to go.
We do have a ways to go.
We'll get there. We'll sound professional one day.
I know, right? But we actually have some pretty amazing stuff for tonight's interview.
Long time coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why don't you say it? What's so special about tonight?
Well, tonight, finally, we get to have a 1 hour pre-recorded interview, so we don't have to do anything for an hour.
With hold on a second, I need to do a sound effect here. With
Wait, I'm waiting. That's right, folks. Fallon Fox. Fallon Fox is on the show tonight, not live, but pre-recorded.
Yes.
Amazing interview. Both Kaya and I on camera talking to the amazing phenom that is Fallon Fox.
Yes, and who is Fallon Fox?
Who is Fallon Fox? That's the name of a documentary, isn't it?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Actually, wait, there is a documentary being made of
yes,
her
there
right
is.
now.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, Fallon Fox is the first transgender mixed martial arts fighter. The first and only, as far as I know. So, I mean, we were super excited to be able to talk with her about a little bit about her life as a trans woman. And then especially later on in the interview, we talk about her being a fighter and the controversy over her issues with the different leagues that she's trying to fight for. And of course, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, yes.
Joe Rogan.
Apparently fear is not a factor.
Oh my god, that's cheesy.
Well, that's what made him famous.
Mm-hmm.
Other than being a comedian, and then going on to having a professional career announcing MMA with the UFC.
Yeah, he's a bit of an MMA junkie.
Yeah,
we
so
can say.
it's kind of an interesting transition, if you will. For those of you just tuning in for the first time this Friday night, it's the Queer Life, which is LGBT news, modern perspectives, roundtable discussions, and interviews. LGBT, that is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender.
LGBTQIAA.
Yes.
And
LGBT
LGBTQQIAAN.
QQ. Yes.
That's our acronym.
Yeah. So lesbian, gay, bisexual, brony, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, asexual, ally,
yeah,
and nerd.
right? Yeah.
Yes. So so we do try to cover a lot of LGBT news and do a little bit of a discussion.
We cover the whole spectrum, but the entirety of what we do is very trans centric because we are trans, and we both feel that the trans community doesn't have a big enough voice out there in the world. So, we try to represent everybody, and there's still several acronyms that we need to get onto the show that are not trans.
Yes.
And we'll eventually have them on.
Yeah.
It'll be amazing.
We've had a little bit, or we've talked a bit just about everybody. Everybody's been mentioned. Whether or not they've been given equal time on the radio yet is something we're going to be working out.
We've even represented the straight community.
Yeah,
we on our first show,
the first episode. Yeah,
we had the straight community.
Yeah, we interviewed a straight person.
We interviewed
and cis too.
A gay person.
A gay person. Yes.
Have we interviewed any lesbians? I don't think so.
No, but
we haven't done a lesbian, but we've had audio from some of our lesbian correspondents, I guess.
Yes,
from the Queer Life website.
Yes, Lasha Guita is one of our podcasts for the Queer Life family.
Yeah, so we played some of her broadcasts, which have been extremely amazing.
Yeah, she sounds very radio-y.
Yeah, super radio.
It's pretty awesome.
I think we're getting to the radio.
We'll have to catch up to our podcasters.
Yeah, the people broadcasting on our show are more professional than us, right?
Yeah, well, I mean,
like Trans Atheist.
Yeah, well, Trans Atheist Pod.
Yeah,
Maddie Love out of Minnesota, and she's actually been on the show. We've interviewed her, and she's got an incredible story and shares some fantastic interviews. She's actually just posted the interview with myself.
Oh,
yeah, on the Queer Life. So
really awesome. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, if you go to thequeerlife.org, you're going to listen to me, Kaya, the host of this show, being interviewed on Trans Atheist Podcast,
and then rebroadcast on your website.
Yes, and rebroadcast it on the Queer Life. Yes. Also, speaking of rebroadcasting,
ooh, do tell.
Yes, every Tuesday night, starting. It actually already started
last Tuesday.
Every Tuesday night, 9 to 11 p.m. The Queer Life is being rebroadcasted on KBBF 89.1 FM.
So you can catch us twice a week right here on KBBF.
Yes.
Fridays 6 to 8, and then Tuesday 9 to 11.
Yes. And so if you've missed an episode and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to get my Queer Life fix. I mean,
and who doesn't want their Queer Life fix?
Oh yeah, we're gonna mainline that into you every Tuesday night.
Mainline. It could be like.
And so you'll be able to catch us there too. If you can't reach the Tuesday nights or Friday night streaming, the Queer Life is streaming.
I was going to say, if you do happen to catch us, just remember to see a doctor immediately.
Yes.
Yeah.
If it lasts for more than 4 hours.
Yeah. If your Queer Life high lasts for more than 4 hours, please contact your physician.
I think we just jumped in a whole bunch of different directions there.
Well, have we talked about we haven't had a bisexual on the show, have we? Or at least
we've had a couple people.
We've had people who were bisexual, but were they here representing?
Oh, repping, yeah.
I don't think they were repping.
Yeah, but the main bisexual we had in here was Jess.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great.
But she was doing repping other stuff.
Yeah, bisexuality and body modification, piercing.
Yeah. And she had some amazing colors.
That was a lot of fun. That was a great show.
Like suspension and whatnot.
Yes, hook suspension, piercing suspension.
And we've had a brony.
Had a brony.
Yeah, had a brony. So we covered the second B.
Yeah, all the way from Canada.
I don't think we've had anyone questioning or even queer, at least representing the queer community as far as gender queer.
Gender queer, right?
Yeah.
It's, there's.
And then intersex, we've had an intersex man.
We have. Yeah, that was actually some of the first questions
Scott,
within the first couple episodes. People were asking us about intersex.
And we've had that. We've had, we have not had an asexual or, I mean, we've had tons of allies on the show, but nobody who's on here to represent what it is to be an ally.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, there's still many interviews that we need to do and many different perspectives. We need people. It would be great to get a TERF on here.
Ooh, that's the name of the show, Perspectives.
Perspectives.
Oh, she said it. She said it.
That's so stupid.
I know. So, but also too, just disclaimer, by no means are we experts on these. I mean, we're actually kind of becoming better at it, but not experts yet. Yeah. No actual credentials. We're not doctors. We're not lawyers. We're not mental health professionals. We're not advisors. We're not life coaches. We're not your friend. No, just kidding. Well, we can be your friends. You just find us on Facebook.
Won't you be my neighbor?
Yeah, right. There you go. I got a facebook.com/thequeerlife, and like us on there, friend us on there, and we do frequent updates. Mandy, our senior news correspondent, sends me news, and we update it on a regular basis on the Queer Life Facebook page. If you are a Twitter or a tweeter, a twatter, no. Go to Twitter at the Queer Life.
Or the Face Place.
Or other Face Place. At the Queer Life, we have frequent updates on there as well. It's they're scheduled out at through like a little mechanism. So
and speaking of senior news correspondent, our news organization that we've allied ourselves with,
yes,
Planet Transgender. The majority of the stuff we grab or talk about on the show comes directly from their website.
Yeah,
and I mean that's how it was before we partnered with them.
Yeah, they just have good stuff.
They have amazing stuff. They're always up on the latest news, and they always have exclusive articles as well. And the team at their website does an amazing job.
Yeah,
and we wouldn't be able to do this as easily, if not at all, without them. Being up on all the news.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the journalistic efforts of all those writers out there. Mm-hmm. Planet Transgender, a non-profit, not for money organization, and all the writers are absolutely passionate in putting out regular material that's oftentimes original material too. Mm-hmm. So planettransgender.com is where you can find a lot of what we're talking about on here. If you have any questions for us at any point during this episode, you can give us a call, 707-545-0318. That number again, 707-545-0318. I don't want to delay too much the show for tonight, because we got a really fantastic interview with transgender MMA fighter Fallon Fox. But if you want to catch this stream live on the internet, it's like, hey, you're driving, you're like, oh wow, this is really cool, but you don't have radio reception at your house for some reason. Go to thequeerlife.org, and you can stream it live from our website.
Well, you can stream it live or watch it later.
Yeah, watch it later. All the previous episodes are on thequeerlife.org. If you just want to go straight to YouTube, youtube.com/thequeerliferadio, that'll bring you straight to us. And so we're all up on all the different technology fronts, and and I've also discussed with KBBF too that we're going to be having t-shirts soon, so you'll be able to get Queer Life t-shirts to support KBBF. Yeah, so more on that later.
I'm hoping you're going to have t-shirts in my size.
We're gonna. That's another thing too. We're gonna have t-shirts in all sizes. It's not gonna be like little stick figure.
Yeah, for you larger trans girls out there, we'll have larger sizes.
And cis girls.
And larger cis girls.
And cis guys.
Cis guys. Smaller cis guys, right? And larger cis girls.
Yes.
Yeah. Or trans girls. I don't know.
Everybody, all sizes.
We're gonna have many sizes. Are we gonna have babies? Like Like,
oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Oh
like
my
ones
gosh.
for like little onesies.
I would pay to see little babies wearing the Queer Life onesies.
A Queer Life onesie. How about an adult wearing a Queer Life onesie?
Well, that's something.
Are we gonna have our own clothing line eventually, like this product line?
I think so. We're gonna have like Queer Life, golden medallions. But okay, that silliness aside, I want to dive into what Mandy showed me right before, actually, just less than a couple hours ago here.
Yeah, well, the video I showed you has been around for a little while, but it's going to be edited and rebroadcast during the Super Bowl. So I thought it would, and it's really relevant to something that's near and dear to my heart, and that's feminism and the idea of empowering women.
Right.
And it's super important, not just for the cis community, but even for the trans community. Us as trans women, we need to be out there supporting feminist causes and the idea that women can be and are as strong as anyone else.
Absolutely, yeah. So it is what is it? It's
an ad from, it's an informative ad, I should say, ad campaign from Always.
Yeah, Always #LikeAGirl is the name of the YouTube video, and that link will be up on the Queer Life site tonight. It just came up so quickly, and I thought it was so excellent that we have to share it, because we as trans women, we've become a part of women's community and women's society and women culture, and it's for us, it's a great privilege, and we absolutely honor it, and we want to be a part of the feminist movement. We consider ourselves to be a part of the feminist movement, but we want all y'all out there to consider us to be viable players in the feminist movement. We're just as valid as any other cis woman in promoting women's rights, and I also want to say cis men, both straight and gay and trans men, are just as valid in the women's movement. Everybody is.
Well, if the women's movement only includes women, then they're doing something wrong.
Right.
The women's voices in that movement need to definitely be the strongest and the loudest, but it needs to stay inclusive of everybody who's willing and wanting to contribute.
Right. So I am going to play this really powerful video again. If you want to watch it, it'll be on thequeerlife.org. Also too, so I will be playing the audio for this video, which will suffice for over the radio. And again, if you have any questions for us, give us a call, 707-545-0318. So stay tuned. And if you're just tuning in right now, you are listening to the Queer Life Radio Show, LGBT news, modern perspectives, roundtable discussions, and interviews. So keep listening, check it out, and I really hope you enjoy. Always #LikeAGirl.
Hi, Erin.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm going to just give you some actions to do. I just do the first thing that comes to mind. Show me what it looks like to run like a girl.
My hair.
Show me what it looks like to fight like a girl. Now throw like a girl.
Aw. My name is Dakota, and I'm 10 years old.
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Throw like a girl. Fight like a girl. What does it mean to you when I say run like a girl?
It means run fast as you can.
So do you think you just insulted your sister?
No. I mean, yeah, insulted girls, but not my sister.
Is like a girl a good thing?
Actually, don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing. It sounds like a bad thing. It sounds like you're trying to humiliate someone.
So when they're in that vulnerable time between 10 and 12, how do you think it affects them when somebody uses like a girl as an insult?
I think it definitely drops their self-confidence and really puts them down, because during that time, they're already trying to figure themselves out. And when somebody says you hit like a girl, it's like, well, what does that mean? Because they think they're a strong person. It's kind of like telling them that they're weak and they're not as good as them.
And what advice do you have to young girls who are told they run like a girl, kick like a girl, hit like a girl, swing like a girl?
Keep doing it because it's working. If somebody else says that running like a girl or kicking like a girl or shooting like a girl is something that you shouldn't be doing, that's their problem. Because if you're still scoring and you're still getting to the ball in time and you're still being first, you're doing it right. It doesn't matter what they say. I mean, yes, I kick like a girl and I swim like a girl and I walk like a girl and I wake up in the morning like a girl because I am a girl. And that's not something that I should be ashamed of. So I'm going to do it anyway. That's what they should do.
If I asked you to run like a girl now, would you do it differently?
I would run like myself.
Would you like a chance to redo it?
Yeah.
Why can't run like a girl also mean win the race?
All right, so that's that video is really actually extremely powerful, and
Makes me cry every time.
I know you're
It's so beautiful.
yeah. I was tearing up a little bit too, and it's just, you know, we mentioned this on previous episodes before. Why is it shameful to be like a girl? Why is it an insult to say to somebody, oh, it's like, don't be such a girl, or you're hitting like a girl, or you run like a girl? And it's, in a lot of ways it keeps men down. It keeps people from, being who they are, regardless of what societal constraints are of masculinity, of femininity. And it's just really just disappointing that even it's the year 2015. We've got all this technology. We've got freaking iPhone 6 Plus, a phone that has like the power to do everything now, but it's still shameful to be considered a girl. What does that say to all the cis girls growing up? And it's like, these the little girls here in this video, they just knew themselves just to be a girl, and that there was nothing wrong with that. But one of the title cards that you actually didn't see in there says, if you reach the age of puberty as a girl, that your self-esteem drops down dramatically at that point. And it's the idea that you have to be a certain way, and if you don't fit within these boxes that society has put you in, then there's something wrong with you. And even if you are doing everything you're supposed to do as a girl, it still means you're less than, and the less than is less than a man.
Mm-hmm.
As if there's something wrong with being a woman. And
well, that's the whole idea behind that campaign, and behind some of the work that I've even written about online in my own blog. And that's just, the idea that we have to change the term like a girl into something positive. It shouldn't be an insult. And too many times we use it as an insult. Just like in the video, you see and the whole point is the older kids are the ones using the term like a girl to be an insult. It's the older kids, right? It's the younger kids who have not yet been indoctrinated into the idea that being like a girl is weak. They are doing things the way they want to do it, the way they feel like doing it, and strong and active, and they want to win,
Right.
But it's through puberty, and that's the whole point of the videos is that it's through puberty that girls kind of learn to be ashamed of their bodies. They learn to be ashamed of becoming women, of being beautiful, being sexy, being powerful, being intelligent. You know, everything they're doing, they're made to feel ashamed for it, you know, and that's wrong.
It is wrong.
You know, like anyone else, a girl can be and do anything. There's very, very, very few limits out there for anybody.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to be queuing up the next interview here. Just give us a few minutes, and I'm going to play a little bit of music first. And
Aren't we about to go to a break?
yeah, we will be going to a break.
And then we'll play it after.
We'll play it after here.
Did you want to talk about the Charmaine issue?
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, from everything I can find out about Charmaine Tweed is the fighter's name. Fallon Fox had issued a challenge to her, and both her and Tamika Brent on her Twitter. So, and as far as I know, they have yet to pretty much accept any kind of a fight between them and Fallon Fox. And you know, they make some very transphobic comments, which I'm going to do a little bit more research to try to find what it is exactly that they've been saying, and we can talk about it even after the interview.
Right.
So, yeah.
What does transphobic mean?
Transphobic. Transphobic is anybody who has issues with trans people. In other words, you know, they don't want to hire you because you're trans, or they don't want to stand next to you because you're trans. So any kind of negative behavior toward a trans individual, or negative actions, or negative thoughts, or anything like that is transphobic. Who said? Julia Serrano, the author of Whipping Girl, prefers the term trans misogyny to transphobic. And the reason is trans hatred, trans phobia really is it's really misogyny, because it's the idea that they're looking at us weird because we want to be feminine.
Right.
So they're not looking at us because we're different. They're looking at us because you're going from being super masculine to super feminine, and they're suspicious of that. They're afraid of that. They don't understand it. And because why would you want to be a girl? Because we just covered like a girl means to be weak, right? That's the way it's being used. So why would you want to be a girl? So in essence, transphobia is actually trans misogyny, you know, because we're being looked down upon because we think that we're women, or we want to be women, or we are trying to be women, you know. So it is still transphobia in many ways, right? Because it's directly it's directed at that issue, being trans, but at the same time it's also misogynistic.
Yeah. And for those of you that don't know what the word misogyny means, again, you know, the dictionary definition for misogyny, it's a noun: dislike of, contempt for, or ingrained prejudice against women.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, basic prejudice against women. And
yes.
Trans misogyny is prejudice against trans women.
Trans women specifically. And there is a type of prejudice that trans men experience. However, it is quite different. They don't receive nearly as much criticism in the media, or even in general,
or mention
yeah,
of their existence.
They do exist.
Yes,
and they do have issues out there. I'm not trying to say that they don't have issues, but belittle them, but they are different than trans women,
right?
And we will have some more trans men representation on the show at some point.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to take a quick little break here. Played a little bit of music from Yui Carlberg, trans artist from the UK. We'll be playing her interview actually in probably a month here. We've got a lot of great interviews lined up for you, and we're going to be sending promos out over the next coming weeks. So if you just keep listening to KBBF 89.1 FM, you'll catch it all. And just like Pokemon, gotta catch them all. Anyway, check it out. Yui Carlberg, Live Fast, Die Young. SoundCloud.com/YUI-KARLBERG.
KBBF 89.1, contigo, ayer, hoy y siempre.
Not driving anymore? If you have a member of the family that isn't driving anymore, have them donate their vehicle to KBBF. We'll arrange for free pickup even if they don't live in the Bay Area. We can arrange for pickup anywhere in the country. Donating is easy. Just call 877-411-3662 and our friendly staff will make all of the arrangements. Call 877-411-3662 or donate online at kbbffm.org.
I don't want another drinking man in my life. I want to feel more fulfilled. Does my happiness depend on whether someone else drinks? My pastor suggested I try Al-Anon family groups, and I'm glad I did. Are you troubled by someone else's drinking? You might be surprised at what you could learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or go to alanon.org.
Porque somos la primera estación radio bilingüe en el norte de la bahía. KBBF 89.1 FM, la voz de la comunidad.
All right, hello everybody. You are listening to the Queer Life, LGBT news, modern perspectives, roundtable discussions, and interviews. We are now going to play the interview of transgender MMA fighter, MMA as in mixed martial arts, transgender as in transgender, Fallon Fox. And so that's something we've been building up to for a little while now, and that interview is also available online, and we are just absolutely excited to share it with you. So just check it out right now. Okay, so enjoy the interview. All right, hello everybody. You are listening to The Queer Life on KBBF 89.1, LGBT news, modern perspectives, roundtable discussions, and interviews. I'm your host, Kaya Kramer, and I'm with my co-host, Mandy Howards. And this is a special remote interview. Tonight we have a very special guest. I know I say that every single time on the show, but I consider all of our guests special.
They're all super special.
We've had some pretty amazing people in the community come out to speak on all matters LGBT and some matters rainbow.
Well, didn't we say yesterday, on Friday, we had a doctor and then a doctor and then another doctor?
Yeah, we tend to get a lot of doctors. Disclaimer.
We had double rainbow.
Yeah, we've had double rainbow. Have you seen the double rainbow video on YouTube?
Double rainbow. Oh, that guy?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
That was great. So you're following in the footsteps of
I have to go back and listen to that.
Yeah, I know it's some great stuff. So without much further ado here, I want to jump right into our interview. This is a rad interview here. We are sitting here with Fallon Fox, an American mixed martial artist. That's MMA, UFC, all that stuff, cage fighting, all that jazz. She's the first openly transgender athlete in MMA history. This woman is out there killing it, not in a literal sense, sort of, but
figuratively. Well, thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. That's pretty awesome.
And this is a special interview for Mandy and I, because
I'm normally not on camera.
Yeah, Mandy's normally not on camera because the studio at the radio station is very small. We are at my remote studio, aka my room. So
it's bigger in here than in the studio.
This is true.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so this is really special for us because first off, we've covered the subject of trans athletes a lot before on this show, and to have somebody who's really just pushing it and killing it out there is a treat, because what we want to do during this episode here is wants to break down kind of the myths and legends around trans people, and the whole strength of a man thing, and the whole all this nonsense, because there's quite a bit of science that goes behind it. We're gonna cover that during this interview here. We're gonna go over Fallon's experience as a trans woman, and so what I want to happen from this is I want to have people who are listening to this to understand, hey, trans fighters are just like anybody else in terms of fighting level, in terms of heart, in terms of supposed to be there, and so there's a lot to uncover. All right, so I'm gonna shut up here. So first off, we went through your Wikipedia a little bit. I do my research, and I want to first talk about you as a person, you as Fallon Fox, the human being, you as a trans person. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience? Where did you grow up?
Where did I grow up? I grew up in Ohio, in Toledo, Ohio. Do you know where that is?
Oh wait, I know where Toledo is, but yeah,
no?
Smiling.
It's about Toledo, Ohio is about 45 minutes south of Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
It's like right on the border of Ohio and Michigan. It's a industrial town. So I mean, it was a kind of like a booming industrial town at first, but then over the years it just started to the businesses started to go away. So it's just kind of like a loose industrial town right now. Yeah.
Do you still have all your family out there?
Do I still? Yeah, I still have some family out there. I've got my brother out there, my sister's out there, my father's out there, my mother. I mean, I don't talk to them that much, but they're still there. So.
Awesome. And where are you currently?
Currently, I am in Chicagoland area.
Okay.
the amusement park,
I know, but
Chicagoland, where dreams come true.
That's true, actually. My dream came true.
Yeah, trans MMA dreams come true.
So that means you're near Great Lakes, right?
Oh, for sure, right?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Navy boot camp is kind of like north of Chicago a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went there in the wintertime. When did you go?
Actually, I was there in the summer. I left in the winter.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So you mentioned military here. How long were you in the military for?
I was in the military from 1996 until 2000. So it was like 4 years. And basic your 4-year enlistment.
And that's a funny point because Mandy, wait, how long were you in the military for?
4 years, 4 and 4. They do 4 years active duty, 4 years inactive.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was in 99 to 2003.
Wow. So two trans ladies in the military.
At least 2, right?
Yeah. Which is, and the military is something that we covered in previous episodes as well. What's the statistic? It's like at least 15,000 active service military members are statistically trans.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
In hiding,
that's a lot.
Obviously.
Yeah, hiding.
Wait, you said 15,000? You said?
Yeah.
15,000 out of what's our full force?
It's like 120,000.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? So what percentage is that? Like
Over.
What's the percent?
It's like 10% or something like that. Or
Actually, what they said is that the study they did is that trans individuals are much more likely to serve than other non-trans individuals, like based on the trans population.
So, all right, if somebody does the numbers, it's anywhere from like 10% to like that's like, oh wow, that's crazy. Wow. 10 out of 100 people.
So did you think that at any point you'd be serving with potentially other trans people now?
I'll tell you what, if I could go back and do it again, I probably would.
Me
just
too.
because, just to be, a transgender person in the military.
Yeah.
When they change all of this, and
Right.
And what was your job in the military?
I was an operations specialist.
Oh, okay, OS.
Yeah.
I knew many OSs. They stayed up late nights watching radar screens.
We did. In the dark. And surrounded by all of that blue. Yeah, I did surface and air detail. So we we tracked surface contacts on that little screen, and I was in air D&T for a lot. We were back there tracking aircraft. I was part of Operation Desert Fox, which is ironic.
Oh my gosh.
That's really great.
Not that many people remember that, but yeah. I mean, yeah. All in all, I mean, it was a pretty interesting experience. Yeah.
So did you do mixed martial arts before you went into the military? Was this something you discovered during being in the military, or did you were like, afterwards you're like, you know what, I wanna kick some butt,
Well, let's see. I didn't have any military. I'm sorry, we're talking military. I didn't have any MMA experience before I started training for it. I had some wrestling experience in high school. So I had like 1 year of folk style wrestling, if you know what that is. It's basic high school wrestling. Yeah. And
with the little spandex and the
yeah. These types of things. And then when I was in the Navy, we did a little bit of wrestling there, like on the side on the ship, just as like an extracurricular activity. So like when you weren't on watch, we go into the hangar bay and they put out these mats, for wrestling class. And then so we'd be doing like wrestling in between fighter aircrafts. And when we had, and sometimes missiles and bombs that they had like setting on the side. So during those times when it was like, they were doing flight operations or we had something.
Was that on the carrier?
On the carrier, yeah.
Okay. So could you tell us a little bit more about your martial arts background? Were you a part of a martial arts school? I know you did wrestling in school, but wrestling in the Navy as well. But did you join like a martial arts school afterwards?
Let's see. After the military, I pretty much just stopped doing active activities like that. I mean, I worked out and kept up on my physical conditioning. I was planning on doing some wrestling, but I didn't. And I didn't get back into anything like slightly martial arts related, like wrestling or anything like that until, when was this? Late 2007, early 2008 was when I started doing jiu-jitsu. I went to a mixed martial arts gym and they had like jiu-jitsu classes and wrestling classes and they had striking classes like kickboxing. And I walk in there and I get to get down and smell the mats, and I'm like, oh yeah. I remember that smell, the sport. And and I was like, I fell in love with it again, but this time it was so much better.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I could do it in a way that I felt like really, really comfortable doing. And it was just amazing. I just fell in love with it. And I was like, there's no way in hell I'm going to stop doing this. No way in hell I'm going to let it go. So.
Awesome. Yeah. Let's talk about your transition a little bit, and then we'll connect it back to your martial arts, to the MMA.
Yeah.
So when exactly did you, would you say you began your transition? Because I know the whole coming out when you say you first came out kind of thing is like, it's different. Everybody defines it a different way. You know, for some people, it's like, I came out on Facebook at this time, you know, it's like, what was that for you?
Yeah, coming out or starting transition?
You know, coming out as a trans woman.
Coming out as a trans woman. Wow. What would I suppose I didn't understand when I first came out, like what it was that was going on with me, which is like kind of common to a lot of us.
Yeah.
And I remember I was very emotionally distraught, and I went to my father and I took him in the car. He was one of the first persons I told. And I was like, you know, there's something going on with me. And I've been doing a little research, and I think I might be this thing that's like transsexual or transgender or something like that. And I'm just talking to you because I feel like I need your help. I was like, I can't live this way anymore. I need to do something about it. And that was it.
Wow.
Yeah. Didn't go over so well.
And you know, which is an unfortunate kind of situation for a lot of trans people when they first come out. Sometimes the parent can, you know, think it's a joke, or that it can be against some kind of religious creed or homophobia, transphobia. So, you know, we've encountered a lot of stories here, and that's, you know, part of the reason why we're doing this work and sharing your story is that, you know, no matter what, that's, you know, and we say this through every episode, no matter what, you know, it's, you got to do what you got to do to
to survive, to make it, to move on, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for, you know, sharing that moment with us. And so when you decided to come out, how easy was it for you to come out full time?
To come out full time, that was hard. Coming out full time was hard. It was that anticipation, I guess. I suppose I was farther along in this mentally and prepared for it because I had spent like a lot of time, how do I say, kind of like in an androgynous type of dress for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I was a truck driver, so for a couple of years before I went full time, I was taking hormones and developing and, you know, tying things down, you know, and just like, you know, and I was picking like lighter colors, and I was like, and in that industry, you know, there's a lot of fear of like where at truck stops, you know, are they going to picture me as like gay or like trans or something like that? And I'm just like holding everything in, you know, I want to let like just my feminine nature out like so bad, and just you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I picked out the most feminine guy clothes that I could find, clothes I could find, you know, and I just to try and get closer to that, and it just ended up making me look very gay. Yeah.
For reals, yeah.
We know what that feels like.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that, you know what I mean? So
yeah. And if you don't mind me asking, when you were presenting male, did you at a time identify as a quote unquote straight male? Were you a straight dude before?
At that time when I was perceived as by many people to be gay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what was I think? That was a long time ago. I can't even remember that's a good question, right? Yeah, I don't think I talked very much about my sexuality to like fellow truck drivers or like any, you know. to my friends, I suppose I was telling them that I was bi or like, you know what I mean, or
yeah.
That's where I was. Mm-hmm. And to those who really knew me, I told them that I was transgender, but that I wasn't, you know, expressing that openly.
Right.
Yeah.
So, because and the reason we ask, there's a lot of different trajectories that you know that the trans women, you know, trans men too, you know, come from, and for the majority of cis straight people that we've encountered, a lot of people seem to think that we come from a background where we spent a lot of time just being quote unquote sissies most of our lives, and that.
Sorry.
I like that. And that we couldn't do anything hard. It was just
You
like
just couldn't hack it. You just couldn't take it.
yeah, we couldn't take it as a man, so we just like came out as a woman, just because it just made more sense, and it was like so obvious to a lot of people. So the reason we ask is because we want to share different stories, we want to share different trajectories, and to show that we come from all different kinds of backgrounds, and that you can be feminine and still do masculine quote unquote activities. But no, that's really funny. So when you came out, what was the general experience of your friends and family around? You said it was not so easy when you came out with your dad.
Yeah. It wasn't so easy with my dad. It wasn't so easy for my mom. As a matter of fact, when I told him, I'm in my 20s, I know, and I'm an adult, and all of this. But I mean, I went to them for help, and because of all that fear of how they would perceive me, and because I was worried about losing my daughter and their love, and then they started telling me that like there was an actual hell and you're going to go there if you like keep doing what you're doing. I mean, I kind of believe them, and they ended up suggesting and paying for me to go to a gay reversion therapist. It was just with a therapist. It wasn't like it was
not like the group therapy.
It was just its own specialized version of it. So like I would go there and we would have like sessions, right? Because of what I asked my dad was, I was like, can you get me to therapy? Can you get me to someone who can help me? It was like, I will get you the help that you need. So I ended up there, and it was gay reversion therapy. That's what that's what he specialized in.
Wow.
Right? So I would go there, and then we were talking in the therapist's office, and he would send me home, with projects like read this book and that book about this gay person deconverting from being gay to straight. And it was like all these things about all these books and stories about gay men and gay sex. And I was like, this has nothing to do with me. It's like not, it's like what? And then I would go there and I'm like, you don't understand. It's not, this isn't like me. Like it's not about sex. And he'd just be like, yeah, go back and read another book.
Wow.
But it was, I mean, as a matter of fact, I mean, it's so twisted that thing that they did. The first day I went into that guy's office, like I go and I sit down in the chair, right, and on the couch, and he knew that my father told him that I felt like a woman, I wanted to be a woman, blah blah blah. Yeah, he knew what it was, But I sit down, the first words out of his mouth was, "Tell me about your homosexual lifestyle."
Oh my god! The reversion therapy, it's illegal in this state.
Illegal in California. Yeah. It wasn't back then. It was just recent.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a very recent law. I think this year.
Wow. Yeah.
There have been a lot of trans inclusive laws that have passed here in California in the past year, including the respect after death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I'm happy you two haven't gone through that.
No.
No.
We didn't have to get through that, but that sounds horrible. I mean, I can't even imagine that.
I've gone and done a lot of public speaking and spoken at schools and universities and spoken to mental health professionals. And the one question I ask everybody around here is, raise your hand if you have a friend or somebody who identifies as being gay. And nearly everybody, raises their hand in the room. And for everybody out there, and of course we're trans, which is a completely different issue, which we've, talked about much on the show, but everybody has no problem with around here, at least, with people who identify with the sexual orientation of being gay. I say, but my second question after that is, okay, keep your hand raised if you have a friend or a family member who identifies as being trans. And nearly everybody drops their hands. It's just kind of just a representation that not many people know about us, which is part of the reason why we're doing this interview with you. But also a lot of people seem to confuse us, like you're saying, with that therapy that they. All right, hello everybody. Hope you've been enjoying this interview with Fallon Fox, transgender MMA fighter.
With Mandy on camera.
With Mandy on camera, yes. And so this, if you're watching the online feed, yes, I said watching, and all episodes can be watched on thequeerlife.org, even live. We do the live streaming, pretty amazing stuff. So we're just gonna pull away here just for a few moments. Again, if you're just tuning in, you are listening to the Queer Life Radio Show, LGBT news, modern perspectives, roundtable discussions, and interviews on KBBF 89.1 FM, Calistoga. I am their host, Kaya Kramer, joined with my co-host, Mandy Howard.
Always a pleasure.
Always. And we're
enjoying listening to our interview.
Yes. So we're going to play a little bit more music from Yui Carlberg, transgender UK pop artist. Absolutely incredible work from Bournemouth, Britain. And you'll be able to listen to her interview in probably 3-4 weeks from now. We've got a bunch of great interviews lined up for you here. So check out some of her music right here on KBBF 89.1 FM, the Queer Life Radio Show.
This is DJ Broken Record. Make sure to tune in to Worker Show here on KBBF 89.1 FM in New York City. Every Monday night at 9 p.m. to hear dance music from all over the world. News, current events, interviews, and exclusive tracks and mixes from producers and DJs from around the globe. Broken Record Radio Show, Monday nights at 9 on KBBF 89.1 FM.
The following message is about Medicaid and CHIP, free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. Enrollment is open year-round.
Hey, voice lady, give me the mic.
Okay.
Hey, DJ, let's switch up the music. That's better. So listen up, moms and dads out there. There are these programs called Medicaid and CHIP. They offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids. Things like doctor and dentist visits, prescriptions, and shots are covered. All the stuff that keeps kids like me healthy and in charge.
So, as you can tell, a covered kid is a confident kid. And it means confident parents, too. To learn more about affordable health coverage for your family, visit healthcare.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. That's 1-877-543-7669.
Yep, you could do something big for your family today because enrollment is open year-round.
This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And Sophia.
Nuestro teléfono en cabina, 707-545-0318. KBBF, la voz de tu comunidad.
All right. Hello, everybody. You are listening to the Queer Life Radio Show. LGBT news, modern perspectives, roundtable discussions, and interviews. I am your host, Kaya Kramer, joined as always with my co-host, Mandy Howard.
Woohoo! We're having a great time in here listening.
Thank you. You're
too kind.
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing, and we've been continuing an amazing interview with Fallon Fox, transgender MMA fighter,
and our hero.
Yes, because if you've been listening to the interview, Mandy and I mentioned several times that we are martial artists ourselves, and we
love martial arts.
Yeah, just because we want to be feminine and girly and all that stuff doesn't mean we can't still do martial arts, which means we can't, it doesn't mean we necessarily need to give it up or anything. It actually kind of means that we still need to do so because, it's we're like at higher likelihoods of being hurt or mugged.
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff. So
for me, I'm not trying to fight people in general because I don't really like to fight.
I don't like violence.
I don't like violence. No. But I do want to make a quick correction about something I said earlier.
Right.
About the tweets from Fallon Fox about Tamika Brands and whatnot.
Yes.
I was saying that she had challenged them and they didn't accept. The latest news, I guess, is that they actually did have a fight between Fallon Fox and Tamika Brands, a fight which Fallon Fox won. And of course, obviously, every time she wins something, she receives tons of criticism and is put down by TERF websites and all these other, trans hating authors. And they have every right to speak their mind and talk about what they want to talk about, what they feel to be relevant. But you should never, ever do that by degrading somebody else's identity or who they are as a person in general, because that doesn't really make a good argument.
But we will fight for the rights to make that kind of argument.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. Free speech and all.
Absolutely. This is America.
America
the brave.
America the brave.
And what is TERF?
TERF is trans exclusionary radical feminist.
Like a scruffy looking TERF herder.
Yes. And we have and we will promised. We did promise and we will have eventually a TERF centered episode.
Yes. A very well researched.
Yeah. That's why we're not really going to do it right now, because we want to make sure that we have a good idea of what their arguments are and what they're, where they come from. I want to know them a little better. And, we've heard their arguments, but I really want to delve into their world for a little bit and kind of get to know them.
Put their shoes on.
Because I can't make an argument against anything they're doing or saying if I don't really know who they are and where they're coming from, where their arguments are coming from. And I want to be able to do it without degrading them as people.
Absolutely.
So Yeah, and that's how you form a good argument. You know, you bring together facts and issues that people talk about and the things that they believe to be true, and you discuss how you feel about those things in relation to your opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
Because as much as possible, I know we do present a lot of our own perspectives.
Oh, yeah, and-
on the show. We try to do so as much as possible from sources. You know?
Yeah.
And
but there is a lot of personal, of course, all this anti Fallon Fox
Rhetoric.
The rhetoric that's out there is very personal for us because we are trans,
Right.
We are martial artists,
yes,
and we are people,
yes.
And as people,
We're people.
Yes, we are people. This
Oh
is
my
true.
gosh,
The
wow.
Supreme Court has decided.
Yeah, Supreme Court
as of yesterday.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah.
this is true.
And Obama too.
Yeah, Obama mentioned transgender people in his speech.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we're making progress, and the dissenters out there will slowly, their voices will slowly die away.
Yeah.
You know, just like we were talking about the KKK. You know, they're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna be out there, and nobody's really gonna be listening to them after a while because everyone else will have moved on. So.
If at any point any of y'all out there have any questions or comments for us, you can give us a call, 707-545-0318. That number again is 707-545-0318. We'd love to hear your questions. If you have any arguments against us, if you agree with us, if you disagree with us, we're absolutely interested in hearing it. Of course, we do ask that you keep it clean and safe for public radio. I know we do touch on some kind of racy subjects on the show, but it's all within the standards of public educational radio.
Well, keep it clean, keep it safe, and try to avoid from demeaning anybody. I mean, that doesn't really, like I said earlier, it doesn't really make for a good argument. Ad hominem, to the man, so to speak. You don't make a good argument by degrading the speaker.
Yeah, or ad trans hominem.
Ad trans. Okay, should we get back to the
interview? We're going to get back to the interview. All right, if you're listening, again, if you're just tuning in, you are listening to the Queer Life radio show, LGBT news, modern perspectives, roundtable discussions, and interviews. This is our continued interview with Fallon Fox, transgender MMA fighter. Check it out. It's right here on KBBF 89.1 FM. Which is a completely different issue, which we've talked about much on the show, but everybody has no problem with around here, at least with people who identify with the sexual orientation of being gay. I say, but my second question after that is, okay, keep your hand raised if you have a friend or a family member who identifies as being trans, and nearly everybody drops their hands. It's just kind of just a representation that not many people know about us, which is part of the reason why we're doing this interview with you. But also a lot of people seem to confuse us, like you're saying with that therapy, that they think that we're gay,
Right. Yeah.
They think that we're just effeminate homosexuals, but
it kind of skews the numbers, right?
Yeah, no, it's like, no, I'm just a gay man with boobs. No,
it's a lack of understanding the mentality of a trans person. It's that whole misconstruing sexuality with gender and all of that stuff. It's been going on forever. But
so there's even a misunderstanding in places like Thailand. I'm Thai, and like my mom thought when I came out, she was like, oh, so you're gay, right, son? And I was like, no, I'm like, not exactly. I'm like,
your people do good work, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Oh, are you Preacher?
Preacher, yeah, right.
Nice. Say hey.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a good segue there. So you've had GRS done, right?
Correct. Yes.
And for our listeners that don't know, GRS, also known as SRS, also known horribly and politically incorrectly as the sex change operation. Just to let y'all know again that is not common lingo. That is not politically correct. It's either sexual reassignment surgery, which is being phased out as well, gender reassignment surgery, or gender confirmation surgery. But
Stop watching Hedwig and the Angry Inch, please.
Oh my god. I got an angry inch now. Oh my gosh. Neil Patrick Harris. No.
Yeah. So between the three of us, we have 3 different doctors.
Right, yeah.
Preacher.
I'm Marcy Bowers.
And I'll be getting Dr. Meltzer in Arizona.
Tell me how it goes.
Yeah. Compare. No.
Send me pictures. No.
No. I
don't want this on the internet.
No, it's like you go to a trans support group. It's like, no, check this out.
That's the oddest thing. We're like so comfortable.
Yeah.
With that,
They just want to go check it out. It's beautiful.
Well,
you want to go on a tangent or?
Yeah, go ahead. This can go in any direction.
Yeah. So what do you two think? I find that transgender women are more open about their body and showing it, and all those things, and sexuality than cisgender women. That's just been my experience, and my personal perspective on that is that we're not mentally geared from society, because we're raised so little as living lives as boys, to be slut shamed. In our minds, like, you know what I mean? Like, and to me, a lot of times I think like, this is the way that it could or should be,
Right.
That mentality, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
No, it's great that you bring it up, because like Mandy, we have conversations about this all the time.
Well, I already told her she's gonna look at mine.
Yeah. But no, that's exactly what I think it is. It's because we've been socialized male our entire lives. Girls have a certain social, what you were saying, the slut shaming. Don't show off your body. Don't be careful with a man. There's all these different things. Don't accept a drink from a stranger. There's all this different stuff that girls are taught not only by their elders, but also by their peers. And girls, when they socialize, they spend more time communicating to each other about, quote unquote, and stereotypically, feelings and relationships and human connections. Whereas boys are socialized to speak, report talk style. Okay, this is what I did. This is, where I did it. These are the details of the event. You're writing a field report basically verbally.
Yeah.
What I was going to say also is that I believe it also has something to do a little bit with the idea that trans women are just proud to have the bodies that are finally in line with their minds, and they just want to show it off. They want to share it. They don't want to just hold and keep it in. They want to share it with everybody, and especially other trans women. You really want to share that, and maybe inspire other trans women to kind of say, "Hey, you can do it too." So yeah, I mean, for me, that's what it is.
I like that too. I like that idea of like, sharing with. I mean, I hopefully, I plan on making like a transition timeline video.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
That'd be really good.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think that would be really good.
Well, I know the cis community
more of us
really
do that, because I remember watching when I was watching those transition timeline videos. Like, I mean, I don't know about you two, but like that was inspiring and it helped me keep going. Like, I remember there were a few of them that I would just like watch and then just like go back, like feeling okay. I want to feel like good about this. Like, go back and let's watch it again and just like, you know what I'm saying? Like to give myself hope that it could be done. Does that make sense? Like, yeah.
No, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So.
No, I remember watching those myself, and I was just like, I love the ones where it's just like, it's like, he's like a beer drinking bro, and he's got like a big old beard, and and he's all muscly or whatever, because I was fairly big for a while too, and
I'm not going to talk about my porn stash.
Yeah, she had a porn stash, but I'd see these videos, and I would literally watch them and see their quote unquote transformation, and I would cry because I'm just like, oh my gosh, that could be me.
All right.
And
yeah.
Which is why we want to share your story, because I want a lot of young potentially trans people to look and be like, hey, that could be me as well. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people, myself included, who are like, hey, I can't do martial arts anymore. I can't I wouldn't be able to do this. So you've come out in your life as a trans woman, and you said it was somewhat difficult with some people. Did like most of us, were there people that you lost, or has people been generally supportive or just kind of ambivalent?
At first when I first came out, most people who were around me that I was really, really close with, kind of like turned their backs on me a little bit. And some people who were farther away from me just came right in with open arms, or were like, I want to help you, and like, all this stuff. So like, it's been my experience that you never can tell, and sometimes the people who you think are the closest are the ones who are going to be rubbed the wrong way, because they're actually feeling like they're going to lose you. Like, that's what they think. They think that they're losing you, that you're like dying, that like that person that they knew before, that whole identity is leaving them, which it is. It is like you're the same person, that like same physical person, that same, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can't even go there, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked a little bit about your experience, coming out to friends and family. Not everybody's been completely receptive, it sounds like, in your experience.
That would be the truth. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I've had some people who were actually very, very nice, very, very kind, very accepting. My teammates were very, very accepting. Of course, I didn't come out to them while I was transitioning, but like, when they found out that I was transgender, I mean, they, like, not one of them has been mean to me or has said anything horrible to me to my face, which
That's
is
really good.
Yeah. And they've been very positive and supportive. I couldn't ask for much more. So, yeah.
When you came out, did you go to any like trans support groups? Was there any therapy in your area, like supportive therapy? Not.
I've never really been to like a big trans support group.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like we're sitting around in the chairs that I always see on TV and people talking about it. I've never been to one. I had my therapist that I was going to, often. I stopped going like after I transitioned. I was pretty much figured I was like through all of that, So, but yeah.
So were you doing MMA before your transition or after?
Right. So I started training for MMA in 2007 or 2008, one of the two. It was like around that December-ish, Christmas time, I think. I don't know. But let's see, I started fighting in MMA, an actual MMA fight. What was that? That was 2011, I believe. Was my first amateur fight. I'd been fighting in jiu-jitsu before that. So let's see, 2008 was when I started. 2007 when I started training. I think I started my first competition in late 2008 or early 2009, one of those two. But I went to Florida. That was my first jiu-jitsu competition, and I fought in the black belt category just because I wanted to see how far I could go. Because you can go up, and you can go down, right? So in no gi, which is when you're not wearing a gi, right? Thing that the karate suits.
Yeah. We get it.
Right. So I went no gi, and I got my butt handed to me. pretty bad. You know, I mean, I got a couple of takedowns because I had wrestling experience, but like, you know, I mean, I didn't get submitted because by that time I had enough defense, you know, in me to do that. And it was absolute also. Or actually, no, I fought in absolute. Do you know what absolute is? It's when all the weight categories are combined into one. So you could be fighting someone around like 105 pounds to like 250 pounds. It doesn't matter. It's just like they take everybody and just put them all in one category. Is absolute. So in my weight class, I got my butt kicked. And in absolute division, I got my butt kicked. But then when we did gi, I did okay. I didn't win first place. I got second place as a white belt. You know, that was the beginning stages. I mean, yeah, I think I did as good as I could have in that early stages. So. What was the question? I went off on a huge tangent about jujitsu. Oh yeah, that's right. And then I did striking. Then I started working on my striking. I started learning Muay Thai. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I went to a really, really good school in the Chicagoland area, and for like maybe 8 months or so, and learned a lot. But I'm talking like it wasn't like Muay Thai. For like 2 nights a week. No, it was like every day, like, you know, morning and night, because that's what I was doing with jiu-jitsu before. It was like, you know, afternoon, night, and training people. And like, it's not just for like 1 hour. It's like for like 3 hours blocks that I'm there working with people, learning things, teaching things, you know. So that's what I started doing with Muay Thai. And I got proficient at that like very, very, very fast. Because of the amount of time that I put in.
No, that's absolutely incredible. I mean, shoot, you know, you seriously are an athlete, which, you know, brings me into the, you know, the next part of the interview. You know, in previous episodes, we've talked about trans people and what our strength levels are, how we're viewed in terms of like being, you know, being athletes, and you know what hormone levels do to us, what, you know, gender reassignment surgery does to us, and I want to cite one of our notes here. The International Olympic Committee, which we've cited numerous times in previous episodes, the governing body charged with overseeing Olympic competition and those events leading up to the Games, became the first athletic body to adopt a policy of inclusion regarding transgender athletes. The IOC's policy says only those who have 1, undergone sex reassignment surgery, 2, had hormone treatments for at least 2 years, and 3, received legal recognition of the transitioned sex can participate consistent with their gender identities. And that's as of 2003. Where does that stand in terms of the MMA's rules? Is that pretty much the same?
I believe it's pretty much the same. But I would have to talk to the boxing commission about that. I just know that I fit within the parameters.
Yeah, right.
I just did my paperwork and like, you know. But I believe for us it's 2 years. I believe it's 2 years after a gender reassignment surgery or orchiectomy.
You've come under fire for you know, being quote unquote having quote unquote the strength of a man. While you're fighting cis women.
my strength of a man face.
Yeah.
If you're listening and without any picture,
you know,
be happy you are. I don't know. It's either a gross misunderstanding of how our like biology works, or you know, or they're just doing it on purpose to try and, you know, of course, keep me away from fighting. But the whole strength of a man thing, I don't know. We all know that estrogen and lack of testosterone will make your muscles decrease. Like, it's like not even a thing. You know, make the strength of your muscles decrease. You know what I mean? It's not even a thing that's even arguable, but they still argue it.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know for me in particular, I was talking with Mandy about this. You know, I used to be the person to go to people's houses, lift up boxes for stuff, help them move pianos and everything. And then now when I go to the grocery store, they ask me, I was like, oh, okay, ma'am, would you like help take us with somebody to take your groceries out for you? I'm like,
it's all about perception. Like even before, that's a good point. That's a good point, right? When I would go to grocery stores and I was still presenting as male, right? You know, I could go in there the same day and reach the same person, you know, and they wouldn't know if I were to come back later. You know what I'm saying? But like dressed in female clothing. I mean, you guys know, like, you just go in there and like he'll be like, you know, the guy bagging it, well, you need help out to your car, and then like the next person will come along and be like, you know, if you come back later, they'll be like, oh God. It's just a crazy situation, but
yeah. I mean, how is it that all of these different athletic organizations, the International Olympic Committee, you know, MMA associations, Association of Boxing Commissions, UK Football Association, Ladies Professional Golf Association, U.S. Association of Blind Athletes, U.S. Soccer Federation, U.S. Track and Field, U.S. Triathlon, Women's Flat Track Derby Association, you know, the World Anti-Doping Agency, how is it that all these professional organizations seem to have no problem with trans women competing alongside cis women, but everybody still seems to believe that we as trans women have the strength of a man, or like this athletic advantage? Like, why is that? Do you know?
Because it's a conspiracy of the liberals. That's what it's all about.
It's part of the politically correct liberal agenda, right?
Yeah, to get transgender people in power and take everything over.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, we're getting in your schools. We're getting into. You know,
wait.
I know, that's like the craziest idea.
Yeah, it's like, you know,
it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would anyone do that? Why would doctors say that? Why would the Olympic Committee, the International Olympic Committee say that? Why would all these sports say that if it wasn't true? Like, what would their slant be? What would they have to gain from all of this? So ridiculous. Yeah.
You know, I've been following you online for quite some time now, and you know, the one thing that really sticks out to me is the whole Joe Rogan situation. Like, I just, you know, like, you know, he's a comedian, then he becomes like a sports announcer, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, he goes on his radio show and he starts, you know, spewing all this, you know, anti-trans rhetoric, you know, that I'm not going to repeat some of the things he said, but I mean, it's just like, you know, basically the whole strength of a man arguments. And, you know, a lot of it, like nearly everything he said came off as extremely offensive in a very personal way that affects anybody who's trans. I mean, what's your response? All right. Hello, everybody. You are listening to the Queer Life radio show, LGBT news, modern perspectives, roundtable discussions, and interviews. If you are just tuning in right now, you are listening to our interview with Fallon Fox, transgender MMA fighter. And that's been going on for the last hour here. If you are just tuning in and you want to catch the whole thing, you can go to the Queer Life, thequeerlife.org. And that will be made available tonight for you. If you just want to go straight to YouTube, youtube.com/user/thequeerliferadio, youtube.com/thequeerliferadio. That'll get you straight to the interview here. And so we're going to take just a moment here to hear some words from our sponsors, and we're just going to just chill out for a moment. And we're going to listen to some to a little bit more music from Yui Carlberg, transgender UK artist. So stay tuned. Continue listening on with the Queer Life Radio Show on KBBF 89.1 FM.
Open my eyes, I will soon realize that the world is served to neon and light. And for all those flavors try not to crave for. Maybe I'm a little too
KBBF 89.1, la primera radio bilingüe comunitaria en los Estados Unidos.
Hello, everybody. My name is Elaine B. Holt, and I'm the host and producer of a radio show here at KBBF 89.1 FM called Women's Spaces, which is dedicated to ordinary women doing extraordinary things. You can listen to the show every Monday from 11 to 12 noon. Thank you so much for listening.
Hola, soy María Elena Salinas. ¿Sabías que hoy 1 de cada 4 jóvenes en los Estados Unidos es hispano? Eso significa que muchos de los futuros médicos, ingenieros, científicos y empresarios de nuestro país pueden ser tus hijos. Todos sabemos lo difícil que es para ti enviarlos a la universidad. Muchos te apoyan. El Hispanic Scholarship Fund te ayuda a preparar, planear y pagar la universidad de tus hijos. Infórmate en hsf.net. Patrocinado por el Hispanic Scholarship Fund y Ad Council.
Niños como yo escuchan KBBF 89.1 FM, la voz de tu comunidad, porque es divertida.
Teach me how to be your lover. I'm throwing away my sky and all those pretty white.
All right, hello everybody. I hope you've been enjoying a little bit of the music there. Again, that is Yui Carlberg from the UK, transgender artist out there from Bournemouth, Britain. She's absolutely incredible. You can check out her SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/Yui Carlberg. YUI as in indigo, dash K as in kangaroo, ARLBERG, Carlberg. So she's got some great stuff. If you're just tuning in right now, you were listening to the Queer Life Radio Show, LGBT news, modern perspectives, roundtable discussions, and interviews. We've been interviewing Fallon Fox. If you have any questions for us at any point during this show, you can give us a call, 707-545-0318. That number again, 707-545-0318. You can find this episode and all the previous episodes streaming live or archived videos on thequeerlife.org. Visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/thequeerlife. Twitter, tweet us at thequeerlife. youtube.com/thequeerliferadio. And we are available via all these media means. If you need help or have any resources for us, or you need or seek resources, we've got queerlife.com/help. You know, we've got a crisis hotline on there, and we have a contact form on there. You can reach out to us, and we can try to hook you up with somebody who can best direct you to the help that you need. So please don't feel like you're alone. We want to continue playing the interview with Fallon Fox, the first transgender MMA fighter who has come under fire for all of her advocacy and presence just fighting against cis women out there. So it was a good interview, I think, right, Mandy?
No, we had a lot of fun. We talked to her for quite a while, actually, and we had tons of technical difficulties.
Right, yeah. But
we worked them out.
Yeah, it's come out pretty clean. Yeah. We're gonna play that play the last several minutes of that interview for you. And again, if you have any questions for us, feel free to give us a call, 707-545-0318. All right, thanks so much for listening to the Queer Life Radio Show on KBBF 89.1 FM.
Yeah,
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. We're getting in your schools. We're getting into.
I know that's like the craziest idea.
Yeah, it's like
It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would anyone do that? Why would doctors say that? Why would the Olympic Committee, the International Olympic Committee say that? Why would all these sports say that if it wasn't true? Like, what would their slant be? What would they have to gain from all of this? So ridiculous. Yeah.
I've been following you online for quite some time now, and the one thing that really sticks out to me is the whole Joe Rogan situation. Like, I just I just, like, he's a comedian, then he becomes like a sports announcer, and then all of a sudden, he goes on his radio show and he starts, spewing all this, anti-trans rhetoric, I'm not going to repeat some of the things he said, but I mean, it's just like, basically the whole strength of a man arguments. And, a lot of it, like nearly everything he said came off as extremely offensive in a very personal way that affects anybody who's trans. I mean, what's your response to that?
In my personal opinion, what the things that he said were transphobic. If you ever get a chance, if you haven't seen it yet, if you feel like throwing up, you can always go to YouTube and just type in Joe Rogan, Fallon Fox, and bring up all the videos. There's not just one. There's like, what is it, like 3 or 4 of them that are out there now, right?
Yeah.
What I noticed, in my opinion, was that in his first video, in my opinion, he started off saying he started off saying all these horrible things and saying like I had advantage A, B, or C, or D, right? And then in the end, he's like, it's advantage A and kind of half of B, like he backtracked. A lot of the advantages that he said that I had, like, what was it? Muscles, the muscle mass. He was saying that it's it's highly probable and likely that transgender athletes have stronger muscles than cisgender women.
Yeah.
He was talking about my bigger hands. like I don't know, which I don't have. This is foreshortening, by the way.
Yeah.
Right. It's perspective.
Yeah.
But and a lot of stuff. But if you get a chance, make sure to Google Fallon Fox bloody elbow, and there you will find my rebuttal to all of his arguments, and you get to see some of my writing, which I write a lot better than I speak, as you can probably tell. But that's the case for all of us. But I mean, I take his his argument and just deconstruct it, like, and tear it all to shreds. The funny thing is, like, if everything that he said was true, I would think that he would have responded and like corrected. I mean, it was a challenge. I set a challenge out to him. I was like, if everything that you said is true, then tell me what is the mechanical advantage of the male frame? Because he said that transgender people, because of the way that our bones are situated, because some of us have wider shoulders and smaller hips, and the socket, I think that people were saying, I'm not sure if he said this, but I know that he said that the hips were my hips or transgender people's hips are smaller or slimmer, and that somehow adds more kicking power is one of the things that I believe he was saying. And I don't know how that's supposed to work. I mean, can you two figure that out? Like what could he possibly mean there? Like, what could that even mean?
Well, he's probably talking about bone alignment and all that, but the problem with that is that whether you have narrow hips or wide hips, many females out there, they don't have wide hips. They have male structured hips. They're very narrow. So would they not then be allowed to compete because they have a hip advantage? It makes zero sense. And on top of that, females have advantages as well over men when it comes to things like the ability to have raw speed and flexibility in general.
Flexibility, big one.
Yeah. And so there are advantages and disadvantages to being both. But when it comes to the issue of muscle mass, without that testosterone in your body, you don't maintain whatever muscle mass you had. You're not going to maintain it. No matter how much you work out, all you have to do is look at Chloe Johnson, who does CrossFit. She works out like a mad woman, right? But she looks no bigger than any other cis girl who works out just as much. And her stats sit somewhere in the middle. She's not even at the top. She's somewhere in the middle. There's like 100 women stronger than she is. So to say that somehow having had testosterone in your body at some point is an advantage is ridiculous, because it's been proven to be false. And like she was saying, that all these sports organizations are recognizing that trans women, a couple years after surgery, being on hormones, that they don't have any advantage. That's finding over and over and over again. And Joe Rogan isn't responding because he has no response other than to say no, no, no. He has no actual educated response, So, right.
Thank you, man.
I find it to be, how do I say this? I got a bad feeling about him saying these types of things when he's the announcer for the UFC.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just saying, but
it reminds me of what was that football coach that was saying all that, that racist stuff. And it was they fired him from the football association, and they sued him for, I don't know. It's just like for, the organization, clearly supports you, but at the same time, their spokesperson, it doesn't, and is saying things against you. So, this is the state of what it is to be a trans woman in a lot of regards. On paper they support you, but when it comes down to words and exchanges, what's really happening,
and it's messed up. I don't see like the people, like the brass at UFC, like saying the things that he's saying. But, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, the other disturbing thing about Joe Rogan and the few videos that I've watched that he's done about you is that he says all these negative things, but then he backtracks a little bit and talks about how he's supportive of people who are trans and the idea of being trans. He tries to pretend that he's supportive of it, which clearly he's not. Yeah. Like, even though I support her right to be a woman, and if that's what she wants to do, but she has no reason to be in UFC, that kind of stuff is.
I hate it when people say this. I support trannies.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You even want to go there? But
oh no. And my other favorite one is like, oh my gosh, Kaya, I so support you. I have a ton of gay friends.
I know. I've known many drag queens over the.
Yeah. And it's just like, I'm like, I'm not gay. I'm not
not a drag queen, not a cross-dresser.
I'm not a transvestite.
No. Yeah.
It's like, oh, but you know what I mean. It's like, I don't think you know what you mean.
Yeah, they don't know what they mean. They're confused. Probably confused about themselves too.
Yeah. But this is the reason why we've got to continue. You've got to, what you're doing is so incredible. Being in the public eye and continue doing. I mean, you're doing this, for yourself. You're doing what you love, which is why we need to be doing all of our stuff in the first place. But there's a lot of people, and I've talked to a lot of people who really truly look up to you, myself included. Mm-hmm. We're just about out of time on this interview here. But, I, for one, want to say that, you are really, really, truly an inspiration to a lot of young trans people out there. That, and we so thank you from, the bottom of our hearts here at The Queer Life for being out there and dealing with all the crap, You're in the public eye, and we honor that.
You know what I can't wait for you to see? I cannot wait for you to see Game Face, the documentary Game Face.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. The video that's on me online that says Fallon Fox documentary on YouTube?
Yeah.
Right. Like, there's a whole movie behind that. There's a whole movie.
Wow.
Awesome. And it's just been finished, completed. This documenting my coming out process, so it goes back before I came out, like lots of things I can't even talk about,
Right.
But you're gonna love it. It's gonna come out soon. It's traveling around different what do you call them, film festivals, and whenever that's done, it'll be distributed. So I just like to put that out there so everyone can be on the lookout for it when it comes out. So
absolutely, and when it does come out, we will certainly announce it to everybody and have a link on thequeerlife.org. So again, Fallon, thank you so much for giving us an interview here on the Queer Life Radio Show.
For sure. Thank you for having me. Had a lot of fun.
Yep. And again, I am your host, Kaya Kramer of the Queer Life Radio Show, LGBT News, Modern Perspectives, Roundtable Discussion, and Interviews. I am with my co-host, Mandy Howards.
On camera.
On camera, you know, no less. And this has been a remote interview with Fallon Fox. If you have any questions about any of the content in this interview, we will have links to what's been mentioned down below. If you're listening to this over radio, over KBBF, go to thequeerlife.org and look for the Fallon Fox interview. It'll be on the front page or under KBBF, under the archived interviews link. And we hope to continue to broadcast, educate, and bring more into the world from you, from the queer life, from the LGBTQIA. Killing it out there, Fallon Fox. Rock and roll. All right. San Francisco Bay Area. Good night. Pants and boots and pants and boots and pants and boots. Oh wait. Oh, it's back on. Oh, okay.
Oh, are we on? Are we
Yeah,
live?
okay, we're live.
They didn't give us the signal.
Yeah,
through the window. Like they're, hey,
you know,
we're going
yeah,
live. we're going live.
the your finger across the throat thing. It's
Wait. Why would I put my finger across his throat?
I freaking love Guardians of the Galaxy. It's so great.
He goes, it goes right over his head. He goes, nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are
too fast. So I hope that y'all enjoyed that interview with Fallon Fox, transgender MMA fighter. She's absolutely killing it out there, as we said in the interview. And that interview is available on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/thequeerliferadio. If you just want to check out the whole thing, or you just don't want to go to that link, go to thequeerlife.org. That's where everything is. That's everything you need in your life is on thequeerlife.org.
Yeah, and we'd love to hear from anybody who's a fan of Fallon Fox and anybody who's not a fan.
Right. It's also too, if you're an
especially
MMA
Joe
person.
Rogan.
Yeah, Joe Rogan.
yeah.
We're calling you out, Joe.
Calling you out.
I love it. She calls everybody out. That's great. She's like way more metal than we are.
You're calling we'll call you out, but please don't punch me.
Yeah, please. Yeah. I don't want Joe Rogan to punch me.
No.
I don't want Joe Rogan to punch me either.
No.
I don't want anybody to punch me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, so
but we know Fallon is listening, and I just wanted to say you were an amazing woman, and I love you so much, and I'm so happy I got to speak with you and see you and get to know you a little better.
Yeah, same goes for me as well. Feel absolutely, when we are in the presence of people who are putting themselves out in the world and who are sharing a specific talent of theirs, whether they're a musician, whether they're an MMA fighter, whether they led a professional career as doctors, lawyers, anything, and they're putting themselves out there and using their platform to raise transgender awareness.
Well, I really do think that trans individuals who find themselves in positions such as Fallon Fox or anybody who has an interesting career and happens to be transgender, they don't owe it to anybody to use that platform, but I feel that they would be underutilizing what kind of power they hold,
Right.
to inspire future generations of transgender women and just women in general, to help show that being feminine, being female exists on a wide spectrum. It doesn't mean one thing to be a woman. It means many things. And especially for the trans women in the trans community, it's always an amazing thing to be able to see other women who are successful and know that, yes, I can do this too, and that it is possible. And anyone who has that kind of a platform should use it if they're not.
Absolutely. I just, and that's what we're trying to do here.
Well, speaking of using platforms, I have myself a unique platform, which we haven't really discussed yet on the show, but I think we'll probably, not anytime very, very soon, but probably within the next few months, we may actually get to discussing on the show. However, I will probably be gone for at least 6 weeks from the show.
That's right. Why is that, Mandy?
I'm getting gender confirmation surgery in 52 days.
Wait.
Wait. Actually, I could call in to the show. And
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I could be a regular caller. I'm so high right now off of my medication.
I just had major surgery.
I don't know if they give you morphine, but I've never been on morphine before, so I don't know what they give you.
Probably they'll put you under anesthesia for obviously.
Yeah. You don't want to be awake.
I remember. So Steph, MFT intern that previously spoke on probably like third or fourth episode.
Yeah, pretty early on.
Yeah, trans woman training to be an MFT. She's already done her master's, and she's right at the final steps. She actually just had her surgery.
Oh, that's so amazing! I'm so happy for her.
Yeah, and I saw on Facebook, because my world doesn't exist if without it being on Facebook. And I gave her a call and checked in with her, and she actually had Dr. Toby Meltzer out of Scottsdale, Arizona.
And what's your connection to Meltzer?
Oh my! Well, I had a consultation with Dr. Meltzer for my own gender confirmation surgery, which is scheduled for it's scheduled for late October 29th. So I may very well be out of.
Wait, that means I have to learn how to do this.
Yes, it does. But you'll be in Studio A.
I'll have training by then. That'll be. I have time.
Yeah, and
to do your job.
Yeah, and you'll have time to do it during every Tuesday night, 9 to 11 p.m. on KBBF 89.1.
Do a little bit of training.
Exactly. So we'll be replaying it all on there, and so please check out the show, support us there, and if you really enjoy this programming and any other programming on the Queer Life, go to kbbf-fm.org. Hit the donate link, hit the PayPal link at the bottom. Donate $5, donate $1, whatever you got.
$1,000.
$1,000.
If you have $1,000.
If you have $1,000, we'll tell you some crazy secrets.
Yeah, super secrets.
Secrets that we've kept since the beginning of the show.
And they're super serial.
They're super serial.
Super.
Oh my gosh. Number pig. Anyhow, so it's been an absolute pleasure for us to share this episode of The Queer Life with you and our interview with Fallon Fox.
It's simply amazing. I mean, beyond words.
So the message that we relay at pretty much at the end of every episode, and we will, I think it's really important to just keep doing it
every time.
Yeah. Love each other, support each other, and if you know somebody who's questioning their gender, who's questioning their sexual orientation, who has, or maybe someone who's already come out, people who are who are suffering, who are queer. I mean, support anybody, who's suffering. That's whether they're straight, cisgender,
it doesn't matter.
Transgender, whatever. If you know somebody who's suffering and who's in pain and who needs help, and you are a friend of theirs, and that where they are, you have their phone number, you've got their Twitter, you've got their Facebook, message them, tweet them, give them a call. If it's appropriate, if that's within the scope of your relationship, go see them and let them know that you love them and you support them no matter what. Because it's just
it can get lonely out there.
Yeah,
and having that support from a friend or a loved one means so much more than you would think.
Right.
It really does.
So we implore you seriously, because there's a lot of people out there who are lonely and suffering, and just I've been there, Mandy's been there. Sometimes we all go back to those points when we're feeling moments of doubts or shame or guilt or fear.
And I was going to say that if you yourself get to feeling that way, depressed or down or suffering, reach out, at least attempt to reach out before you do anything or think about doing anything, just try to reach out and talk to somebody.
Right.
See if you can meet for coffee somewhere.
Yes.
You know, if you don't have anybody, talk to them online.
Yeah.
And do something.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, even if somebody you're just like playing, you know, WoW, World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
with,
play some WoW.
Yeah. You know, just support. Anyway, you've been listening to the Queer Life Radio Show, LGBT news, modern perspectives, roundtable discussions, and interviews. We certainly hope you've enjoyed this interview. Y'all keep listening every Friday night, 6 to 8 p.m. and every Tuesday night, 9 to 11 p.m. on KBBF 89.1 FM. Have a great night.